Go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everybody to today's information session. You are here to learn about the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady University, also known as FranU, the Master of Science in Nutritional Sciences and Dietetic Internship Program. And so this is our first information session. It's session number 1. And today we're just going to go over a program overview. We expect this presentation to last around 20 or 30 minutes, of course, to give you guys plenty of time to ask questions and learn more about our program. So feel free to type them in the chat as Ms. Serio and I go over this presentation today, or at the end of this presentation, of course, you can ask us any questions you may have. So today, this is our outline. We'll go over our mission statement. We'll go over the just a general overview of our program. We'll go over our curriculum outline. We'll discuss briefly just the rotations overall. We'll talk about professional development opportunities, and then we'll go into details about admission requirements, tuition costs, and then exactly how you would apply to our program. So I want you guys to meet the faculty and staff here at FranU. I am Dr. Catherine Fake. I'm the program director. And also on the call with us, we have Ms. Amy Serio. She is our director of clinical education. And so she is in charge of overseeing all of the clinical aspects of the program. So all of the rotation sites and scheduling preceptors, things like that. And then
Sorry.
And then we also have Miss Sarah Ludwig. She is a registered dietitian, and she supports the program as our academic support coordinator. And before we get into it, I just want to remind everybody that we do have a virtual information session series actually this semester. So of course, this is our session number 1 that you're all here today. And so every single month, we're going to have another virtual information session, and we're going to have talk about specific topics. So next month, we'll go over specific tips on what you can include in your application, what we look for in a student application. In November, we're going to talk about what's unique to our program. Why would you choose FranU? What sets us apart from other programs? Because we think and we feel and we know that we are a very unique program here in the state of Louisiana and also in the nation. And so we want you to understand why you should choose us. In December, we want to talk about, just give you some general tips on how you can really make your personal statement stand out. And there's some information that we require in your personal statement. So we'll give you some tips about that. And then in January, we'll actually have current interns come to do like a meet and greet, a chat with you guys. And so you can ask them any and all questions pertaining to the program that you like. So just to remind everybody, all sessions will be live at 3 p.m. And if any of your classmates can't attend this time and these dates, this is being recorded, but we also do have a pre-recorded version that we will post to our website, and you can also refer to it at a later time. Okay, our website is www.franu.edu/MSNS. And I'll hand it over to Ms. Serio. She'll kind of go over the next few slides.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to go over the mission of the program itself, and that is to educate and form entry-level registered dietitian, nutritionists, or dietetic practitioners to meet the core competencies for becoming servant leaders in health and wellness. And I'll kind of elaborate on that. With a concentration in community nutrition, our graduates will be well educated in the most rigorous, individualized, professional, and comprehensive manner. So I don't know if any of you have researched FranU at all, but we the mission of the university is to develop servant leaders. So that's part of St. Francis's calling and his mission. He was a servant leader, and so that is what we follow as a university and as a program as well. So our dietetic internship program was fully accredited in January of 2021, and that accreditation lasts for 7 years. So we'll go through a 7-year cycle before we get, go through that auditing process again.
Can I elaborate on that just
Absolutely.
for a minute?
Please do.
So students sometimes ask me, what does it mean to be fully accredited? What does it mean to be a candidate, have candidacy for accreditation? And so for those of you who don't know, we are a fairly new program. We have just started our 5th year. And so in order to become a fully accredited internship program, new programs apply for what's called candidacy status. And then once we are granted candidacy status, we can apply for full accreditation once we have graduated 2 classes. And so after we graduated our 2nd cohort, we applied for full accreditation, and it's been a long process, but we did just receive full accreditation status. And so just wanted to clarify the reason why we just got accredited. It's because we're a fairly new program and we had to take those necessary steps to become fully accredited.
Thank you. So our program is located in the School of Health Professions, and it encompasses all of the allied health programs. So that includes the physical therapy assistant program, rad tech, respiratory therapy, medical lab sciences, our program, the physician assistant program, and the physical therapy program. So not only do you get to work with your peers, of course, in the nutrition program, but you get to meet individuals from all these different programs. We have different simulations that we set up from time to time with some of these other disciplines. So it's a really neat way to be able to start to work with those disciplines, because as a dietitian, when you're in a clinical setting or even other settings, you're going to encounter all these different types of individuals and professions. So this is kind of a little jump start in being able to do that, and it makes us a little unique. Are you taking over now?
Yep, I can take over.
Okay.
So we are a graduate degree program. We have it's a combined Master of Science in Nutritional Sciences plus dietetic internship program. And so our program satisfies the requirement to complete an ASIN accredited supervised practice program in order to sit for the RD exam. So this is the 2nd step in the 4-step process of becoming a registered dietitian and maintaining registration status. So once you finish our program, you'll receive a verification statement to sit for that RD exam. And I did want to mention that effective on January 1st of 2024, the minimum degree requirement to be approved for eligibility to sit for the RD exam will change from a bachelor's degree to a graduate degree, which means that if you take the registration exam on December 31st of 2023, you do not need a master's degree. You just need a bachelor's degree from the DPD accredited program plus the dietetic internship certificate. But if you sit for the RD exam on January 1st of 2024, you will need a master's degree or above, as well as that dietetic internship certificate. So this program with the master's degree already built in satisfies this requirement, okay? And I do want to mention that it is a combined program. We don't just offer the dietetic internship certificate. In order to receive a verification statement to sit for the exam, you do have to complete the master's degree as well. So our program overview, this is an unpaid internship. It's a full-time hybrid program, which means that you're working full-time. You're going to supervised practice rotations full-time. You're in a graduate program full-time. But when I talk about hybrid program, it means that some of our coursework is online and then some of it is face-to-face. And I'll go into detail a little bit more about that. But our program is 17 months long. And so we have a new cohort that begins every August and graduates in December of the following year. So it's 4 semesters long. It's fall, spring, summer, and then the following fall. So it's a 17-month program. We do follow the academic calendar, which is really nice. And so our students do get off, a week for spring break, a couple of days for Mardi Gras. They do get the 2-week or really 3-week break between the fall semester and the spring semester. So that's something unique to our program because not a lot of internship programs follow the academic calendar. They kind of just go straight through. So it's very important that we feel that you need those dedicated breaks in order to recharge and rejuvenate and have enough stamina, to keep going and be successful in this program. The program overall awards a total of 36 credit hours. And so 24 of those credit hours is what we call didactic coursework. And so these are your online courses that you'll take in the curriculum. And then we have 12 credit hours dedicated to the internship hours. And so this is composed of the rotation hours as well as any type of simulation hours that we do. And simulation can be in the form of case studies, role playing, or any interprofessional simulations with one of those other professionals programs that Ms. Serio described earlier. Here's an overview of our curriculum. Like I mentioned, it is full-time. And so students are block registered into these courses and they move together as a cohort. And so what that means is that they progress at the same time. All of your classmates are taking the same classes as you. But as I mentioned, and like you can see here, it's 4 semesters long. And so the first semester, you're taking community nutrition and research methods. And those 2 courses are strictly 100% online courses. But you're also registered into a 4-hour dietetic internship course. So in this internship course, you may begin your rotations this semester, but we'll have lots of time dedicated to skills lab trainings and making sure that you are well prepared and you get all of the information that you need to be successful before you do start those clinical rotations. And then in the spring, our students take advanced M&T, statistics, advanced food systems and food security in the second internship course. And then in the summer, they take ethics, which is a 1-hour course that all graduate students are required to take, as well as bionutrition. And the third internship course, which is labeled Dietetic Internship and Nutrition Research 1. And then the last semester, students take the Nutrition Ed, Education and Counseling Techniques course, which again is 100% online. But the Capstone Nutrition Project and the Dietetic Internship and Nutrition Research 2, which is the 4th internship course, are kind of more of a hybrid, face-to-face kind of courses.
Okay, so we'll take over now. I think that's correct. We're going to split it up now. So the way the rotations break down, I'm going to just give you an example of what our current rotations look like. So each rotation is going to vary from 1 to 5 weeks in length. So you can see that our clinical rotations take up the majority of the time. So there's 33% of your time, or 512 hours, 16 weeks are going to be clinical. The next set is going to be community. So that's about 21% of the time, or 320 hours. And then you break further down into food service management, which is about 13% of your time. Continuing education and professional development. We have a business and entrepreneur sect. Research, which is 1 week. So there's a Pennington Biomedical Research Center that the students go to for a week. And then we have service learning, which we can go into a little bit more as well, and the simulation lab. So most of the locations or the rotations are located in Baton Rouge or Lafayette or some of the surrounding areas or parishes. And usually we will give students the option of choosing which primary area they would like to be part of. So, you know, if you live in Baton Rouge, then you may want to stay in Baton Rouge, or you may want to experience something different. So we do give students the option, and we try to honor that as much as possible. The rotations are Monday through Thursday, so they're 32 hours a week. And then on Fridays, we ask the students they're participating in class. And as Dr. Fake mentioned, the classes are hybrid. So you may have a Zoom class one Friday, or you may have an in-person class. So all of this kind of equates to 1,200 plus hours of supervised practice experiences for you. So this is for you to be able to be totally prepared once it comes time for you to sit for your exam and to move into that professional role.
And can I jump in real quick and just mention also that some internship programs make the students secure their own rotation sites, but we secure 100% of the rotation sites for you. And so you don't need to find preceptors or hospitals on your own. We have all that already in place, to where when you come the first day, we basically give you a schedule, and everything is laid out for you. It's already taken care of. And so it takes a lot of the stress off of your shoulders. And so that's something that, you know, we really want to do for our students, and something unique about our program, because not all internship programs have that in place.
Thank you for adding that. So I'm not going to list every single site on here. I'll let you have a second or two to kind of look through it, but these are the rotation sites that we do have in Baton Rouge, and I'll just give you a couple of highlights. So there's several rotations that are centered around diabetic education and their diabetes clinics. So that's these Baton Rouge Clinic, and then this Metabolic Institute, which also constitutes bariatric nutrition. But we do have several locations in Baton Rouge that incorporate diabetic education. You'd work with certified diabetes educators who are dietitians. We also have several dialysis clinics around Baton Rouge and around Lafayette. Eat Fit Baton Rouge is something that some of you may be familiar with. There's also Eat Fit NOLA, there's Eat Fit Lafayette, and these are dietitians that kind of fit into that business entrepreneur sect that I mentioned, and they designate items on menus in restaurants around the cities that fit into the Eat Fit category. And so they give healthy menu options, and they do a lot of promoting of those restaurants and of the items that are healthier for patrons to eat. We do also have child nutrition in Baton Rouge. So you would spend time at different schools learning about school nutrition. Again, I mentioned the dialysis clinic. We have Healthy Lives. So Healthy Lives, and a lot of these they kind of duplicate in Lafayette. So I'll just kind of give you an overview for the whole thing. But Healthy Lives is kind of the corporate management program for employees at all of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady's health system. So that would be like St. Elizabeth. Well, I think it's called, is it Ascension now? The name changed. So that's in Gonzales. Then we have St. Francis in Monroe. We have Our Lady of Lourdes in Lafayette, Our Lady of the Lake in Baton Rouge. So any of those institutions that fit into the FMO LHS system, they have access to Healthy Lives, and they have dietitians that work at Healthy Lives that provide, training and education to the employees of the health system to help them either to lose weight or to help with their labs if they have maybe high cholesterol, different sorts of things like that. And our staff gets rewarded if they meet certain protocols. It reflects in their insurance, it reflects in different areas. So that's a really neat rotation. Also LSU Sports Nutrition. So you would be working with the dietitian that helps to manage all of the athletes' meals and that travels to games and does all that with the athletes. They do all the planning. It's a huge undertaking, and that's a really neat program too. We have the LSU Student Health Center, where the dietitian there works a lot with eating disorder students and other different things as well, but she works a lot with eating disorders. So that's kind of a unique rotation that we have there. The Office of Public Health, which is like the WIC clinics around Baton Rouge. We have a rotation at Our Lady of Lourdes, Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. So that's a fairly new facility, and that's totally children, pediatric patients. They also have a NICU there. And then your big rotations, which I kind of mentioned in the previous slides, were your clinical rotation and your food service. You're going to spend a lot of time doing that at we say the big hospitals, but Our Lady of the Lake in Baton Rouge, and then Our Lady of Lourdes in Lafayette. So you'll spend 4 weeks of clinical and then 4 weeks of food service at each. So you'll get like the whole gambit at both of those facilities. Then we also have PACE, which is like a day program for geriatric patients. What I mentioned earlier, the Pennington Biomedical Research Center, and then Women's Hospital. So I said I wasn't going to go into every one of them, but I did because there's so many cool ones. And then this is Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Lafayette. So so I'm relatively new to my position. I worked at Our Lady of Lourdes for almost 16 years prior to coming here to Brand New. And so right before I left, maybe a year before, we acquired the Women's and Children's Hospital. So that was a neat acquisition. And so that's kind of a picture of it down there. So that's kind of expanded our sites in Lafayette. And so pretty much the Baton Rouge and the Lafayette interns are going to get the same experiences. So like I mentioned earlier, we have the Eat Fit Acadiana, we have the same dialysis clinics, Healthy Lives. The Lafayette Arthritis and Endocrine Clinic is kind of like what I mentioned we have in Baton Rouge with the diabetes management. And then Our Lady of Lourdes, of course, which also encompasses bariatrics. The Office of Public Health, PACE, has an office in Lafayette. Instead of the LSU dietitian, you'd be working with the dietitian at UL Lafayette. And then also the Women's and Children's Hospital. So you get the same experience you would from Children's in Baton Rouge and Women's Hospital. And Our Lady of Lourdes has a burn unit, which is also very unique. We're the only burn unit in the area. So that's a different experience. You can even go if if your stomach can take it. I've never done it, but you can go and sit in and watch a burn surgery. And then, like I mentioned, we do have some outlying rotation sites. So most of them are in Lafayette, or Baton Rouge, but we do have other experiences. So there's Abbeville General, which is just south of Lafayette, Eat Fit North Shore, which is the New Orleans one I mentioned. The LSU Ag Center. So there's lots of different experiences there where they do cooking demos. They do a lot of public nutrition education. Our Lady of the Angels is in Bogalusa. So, and I tell you these because if we have students, like right now we have a student who lives closer to New Orleans. So we're able to find sites because Brand New is associated with an entire health system. So we can find sites to accommodate those students so they're not having to travel really far distances. So that's what makes it really, again, unique about our university and our program, is that we have so many resources because we're part of that health system. So Our Lady of the Angels, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Our Lady of the Lake Surgical Hospital. All of those programs or rotations are within the health system. So like I said, we can accommodate people in different areas.
So I'll shift gears a little bit and just go over some of the professional development and continuing education opportunities. And so all of our students attend the National Food and Nutrition Conference and Expo, which is also known as FNCE. So this conference and the state conference is mandatory for our students to attend, but it's always a really good time, and they learn a lot about, you know, nutrition and dietetics and in the field and who we are. And it's a great opportunity to network as well. And so the first fall semester in October, students attend FNCE. It's virtual this year, so, you know, it's pretty convenient and affordable for our students to attend. This is a picture down here. We went to Philadelphia that year. This was the year right before the COVID pandemic hit. So this was in October 2019, I guess, is the last time we traveled somewhere, but we're hoping to travel again next year. And you'll, you know, if you're a senior applying soon, you'll have the opportunity to actually go to a FNCE conference and experience that for yourself. And then in the spring, we have our state conference, which is known as the Louisiana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Annual Conference and Training, or ACT. And here we have a picture of one of our former students, Leah Judy. She actually won the Outstanding Dietetic Intern Award that was presented to her at the LAND conference a couple of years ago. And so we do afford these professional development and continuing education opportunities to our students. I do want to note that we do have opportunities for research. So if you paid attention when I was going over the curriculum slide, you'll notice that in the last semester, we have what's called a capstone research class. And that actually starts the first semester of the program in research methods. And then it's a 17-month-long project that you start to develop within the first semester of the program, and then it kind of culminates in the last semester in the capstone course. And so all of our students do some type of original research project. Here we have Julie Como, one of our former students. She actually won an award for Best Student Research Project at a student research showcase that we hosted, and there were representatives from almost every program at the university, and Julie won first place at that showcase. So we were very proud of her accomplishments. And then the picture up top, all of our students have the opportunity to disseminate their research at our annual Research and Scholarship Showcase, which we host right before graduation. And so this is our poster presentation with our students here. And so you are able to, you know, have opportunities for research. We have research chairs and committee members that you're paired up with to assist you in this research endeavor. We also want to mention that we strive to provide you with dedicated time to practice for the ORD exam. We have a series of things that we have put in place to assist you with honing in on these skills, to ensure that you're able to successfully take the exam, pass the exam, hopefully the first time, but definitely within that year of graduation. And so we provide you with what we call ORD mock exams. So it's simulated exams that are exactly like an exam that you would take in the, in the ORD when you're taking the ORD exam. So we give mock exams to each semester, and then actually for the final semester. So you take 10 mock exams total. We have a review of dietetics book that we do group presentations and quizzes each semester to learn about the different domains. You are provided with a subscription to Visual Veggies, which is an interactive type of software program that you download on your computer so you can practice. And then we also host every fall, right before you graduate, a Gene Inman review course. And again, we provide the book and the USB, the flash drive to you as well. And this is a picture of our students during a Gene Inman review course. So I am proud to say that the class that just graduated in December, within 6 months of them graduating, so by June, every single one of them, 100% of them had passed the RD exam and had started working in the field as a registered dietitian. And so we're very proud of them and that statistic. And we hope that, what we have in place is preparing you very well to pass that RD exam and start practicing as soon as possible. So our admission requirements, and you can pull this from our website, but I just wanted to talk about it today, and this is pretty consistent with other dietetic internship programs. And so we do require an overall grade point average of a 3.0, and we do require that your DPD grade point average is a 3.2. We do need a declaration of intent or a verification statement if you've already graduated from your program director, who oversees the DPD program. We do ask you that you write a personal letter addressing program-specific questions, which those specific questions can be found on our website, but we'll go into detail a lot more in one of our future info sessions. We do ask that you provide 3 letters of recommendation. We do ask as well that you provide a resume to include any of your work and volunteer experiences, and all that information is also asked in your DICAS application too. We ask that you submit a video interview addressing program-specific questions. Again, that can be found on our website, the specific questions, and we'll go into detail again in a later info session. And then a $40 application fee, which is consistent with most other internship programs. I do want to mention that we used to require the GRE, but the GRE is no longer required. So you do not have to worry about taking the GRE to apply to our program.
Okay, I'll take over. And I won't go too much into this, just like Dr. Kake said, all this stuff is on the website, and I know we've been talking for a while, so we want to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions, but just a brief overview of the tuition cost. It's $600 per credit hour. So the total tuition and fees is $25,996, but there are financial aid and scholarships available. And just briefly, I'll touch on the fact that this year and the next 2 years, we're offering, the university affords us different types of scholarships. I'm so sorry, it's that my dog is barking, excuse me. Oh, sorry, y'all. Of course, at the most opportune time, right? So we have a scholarship that we just started that we were allowed to have this year through the university, and we were able to award the top 4 students with $5,000 each. So that was really great. And we have a committee that based that on their applications, I'm forgetting, from DICAS. So we were able to award those students those scholarships. So that will be available. The same one we'll have for 3 years, but there's also other opportunities available. And to note, we do not charge an out-of-state tuition fee. And like I mentioned, you can find the breakdown of the hours and the costs on the website. So I'm sure most of you know this, that the deadline to apply is February 15th of 2022. You can register with D&D matching services, and this is the website, and then submit your application through DICAS and share it with FranU on the DICAS portal. And also complete the supplemental application through FranU's Office of Admission. So each student that's matched through DICAS will automatically gain entrance into the online Master of Science program. So that's not like two different things you have to do. Anything you want to add, Dr. Paquet, to that slide? No? Okay. And then this is our website, and we also have an Instagram account. We have a Facebook account. We also have a YouTube channel that we are slowly in the process of building up, and we should have videos to share very soon. And that information will be posted on the website as well. And I'll let you finish out, Dr. Paquet.
Yes, I just want you guys to mark your calendar. Our next info session, as I mentioned earlier, will be Wednesday, October 27th, same time, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll go over application tips. So talk about what we focus on, what we look for in student applications, and really give you some tips on really how you can make your application stand out and really beef up your application. Because I know it's September, it's a little early. You probably haven't started DICAS really yet. I don't think it's even open yet. I think it opens in December for y'all. But you can still start building your resume, asking, you know, for references, writing your personal letter. You can start working on that soon. So we'll go over all that next webinar. I do want to invite you all to our open house. I'll invite you all to come to our campus, look at our skills lab, come look at our simulation labs, meet with Ms. Serio and I. We'll have current students, our interns at open house that you'll be able to talk to. And so I encourage you to register for that event. It is an in-person event, and it begins at 9:30. So you can go on our main website, franu.edu/open house to register for that. And then here's our contact information. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask us right now, but here's our phone numbers and email addresses. If you want to follow up with us and have any questions, please contact us. We'd be happy to answer.